Hello, hello, hello. Great day, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us on another episode. So, I have a confession to make. Some years ago, I didn't know anything about tennis. I mean, literally nothing. And I am a sports person, right? I love football, love basketball, didn't know anything about tennis. And then I began to see these two young women and I became so intrigued. I was so fascinated by Venus and Serena and the fact that they were breaking barriers and just taking the tennis world by storm. In so many ways, as I looked around, and it was both on the court and off the court. So, as she continued her career, Serena Williams, she really became an inspiration to so many of us and to so many young women athletes around the world. So today, I am really looking forward to talking about the lessons that we learned from Serena's career. And as we're going to dive in and we're going to break it all down today as we prepare to lead above the grind. Let's get started. All right. So we are ready to get started. Great day, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Coffee with Rhonda Show. And this is season 7, episode 86. And we are your cup full of inspiration, revelation, and wit for today's savvy leader. So we're excited to dive in and talk a little bit more. We've got a good show planned for you today. So before we get started, I'm going to ask you all to right now do a couple of things. Number one, share the video. We want you to like and share the video because I promise you there will be something that we say today that someone else needs to hear. So whether you're watching live or watching the replay, please do share the video. Also, don't forget to go over and subscribe to our YouTube channel. With all that being said, my name is Rhonda Y. Williams, and I'm known as an RSO, or what I call a recovering stressed out leader. So today, I believe very strongly that it is our responsibility to modernize our approach to leadership, to include a more well-being centric approach so that leaders can thrive and show up every day and be and do their very best. So today I am coming to you live from Phoenix, Arizona, where I must say, by the way, it is a lot cooler. I was going to say a not good word, but it's a lot cooler than I would like it to be. So I was thinking I was coming to Phoenix and it was going to be nice and warm. No, not this week. It's been like 60s and 50s. Anyway, I'm not a happy girl. So today I have a cup that my dear friend shared with me. Do more of what makes you happy. So that's me, and I am actually drinking McDonald's coffee in my cup this morning. So that's where I am, and that's what I got going on. And just so that you know, as soon as this show is over, I'm hitting a spa. Okay, enough about me. So let's go to our super caffeinated co-host and let them introduce themselves as well. Mireille, good evening to you. Uh-oh, Mireille, did you hear that? Good evening to you.
Hello everyone. Sorry, my connection is a bit lagging behind today. I changed my room. So welcome to the Coffee Restaurant with Rhonda. I'm Mireille, your caffeinated, co-host, the greatness engineer, as you know me. And I always make sure that you understand that you have greatness inside of you and you unleash this greatness to create, the result that you want. So that's me. And today I'm drinking green tea. But I'm very excited about the subject because I love tennis. I actually loved tennis before Serena, and I actually enjoy it even more. With Serena coming in and having somebody who looked like me playing tennis. So I'm really happy to talk about Serena, the lesson that we learned from Serena today. Welcome, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mireille. And Miss Roz Jones, great day to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Roz Jones, but I want to talk about that necklace Mireille has on. I want that necklace.
It's beautiful. It is
I'll send one to you.
Thank you.
Definitely.
But anyway, I'm Roz. I want the necklace, and I'm drinking. Y'all know I'm drinking my alkaline water. You know what the alkaline does. I don't have to
Mhm.
tell you. Mm.
oh,
I'm gonna turn it. I'm gonna turn it back over to you. But yeah, I just want that necklace. Y'all know who I am. I have a caregiving business in Jacksonville, and we help your loved ones from the beginning of the aging process to the end. And as I always say, when you can't do it all, give us a call.
all right, awesome. Thanks, Roz. And today we have our special guest joining us, Dr. Ophelia Byers. Great day to you. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. And tell us a little bit about the work that you do in the world.
I
Um,
want her necklace. I want her necklace.
Yeah, I was going to say the same.
Roz, Roz, you won a lot this morning.
I'm sorry. I'll inbox y'all my address. Just a minute.
Dr. Byers, Ophelia, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about what you do in the world, and then tell us what you have in your cup.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Rhonda, Roz, Mireille, thank you for the opportunity to be here this morning and to everyone out there listening today. I am Ophelia Byers. What I do in the world, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, a friend. Um, Professionally, I am a nurse executive. I've been a nurse for 23 years and currently work at a healthcare system in New Jersey. I am a budding entrepreneur with a leadership development practice really focused on situational guidance, helping leaders through tough challenges and decision making as they go along in their careers, and certainly with a special focus on Black leaders. I think that is a population of leaders that certainly needs that additional support and embrace, really. Um, in my cup today is pomegranate white tea with a little
Mm.
bit of honey. Really, really good. And I am just glad to be here and to have a great discussion about an amazing woman with amazing women.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And what part of the world are you in?
I am in New York, in Rockland County, New York, about 40, nah, maybe 30 minutes outside of Manhattan.
All right, awesome. Wonderful, wonderful. So let's dive in and get started talking today. And I want to do a quick round robin. So our topic today is lessons we've learned from Serena Williams and how that impacts us and who we are, how we show up in the world. So when you think about Serena Williams, what one word comes to mind first? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about Serena Williams? So Roz, what's the first one word that comes to mind when you think of Serena?
Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur. Okay, Mireille?
Goat.
Goat. Okay, the goat. Ophelia.
Authentic.
Authentic. Yeah, and the first word that comes to mind for me is confidence. So we all see her a little bit differently, but I'm sure there's all mergers along the way in all of this. And just really quickly, I want to say good morning to Regina, who's in Austin, Texas, and she has delicious, fresh spring water in her cup. Pleasure to be here. Thank you so much, Regina, for tuning in. So, um, as I think about Serena Williams, as I said, I wasn't really watching tennis. And all of a sudden it came to my awareness that Venus was the first one who sort of took stage front and center. And I remember watching her just being really frustrated because I had no clue of what was going on. I didn't know what was in on the court and what was out on the court. I just knew she looked like she was a force, and everybody was talking about, Venus Williams. And then came Serena. So I really began to learn about tennis, right? And to understand sort of what the game was, the strategy behind the game. And then I was totally swept up. So they were my entry point, and now I'm a lover of tennis. I love it because I think the sport is really something that requires a lot of discipline, a lot of precision, a lot of skill, a lot of power, right? What a game. But then these two women who look like us step onto the court and just begin to light it up. And so that was my entryway into tennis. And so I'm wondering, as you think about how, yes, Venus was the beginning and the catalyst of all of this. But as Serena says, Venus opened the door for me to be able to walk in and step through. So, what are some of the things that you all really began as you look over Serena's career? What stands out for you as lessons that we as women, entrepreneurs, Black women can take forward into our life and our world? And so, Ophelia, I'm going to start with you. What comes to mind when you think about this incredible athlete?
Sure. There are a couple things. One that I just think is a powerful quote that she offered, and another, a really challenging situation in the 2018 Open. But I want to start off with the positive, right? One of her quotes is, there's one thing I'm really good at, and that's hitting the ball over a net in a box. I'm excellent.
Mm.
And it's that it's that confidence for me, as you said, right? Owning her power, knowing what she brings to the table, being a good steward of her time and talent, which I think is something we all need to be mindful of, and owning her excellence, not being afraid to say it, not dimming her light. Not saying, well, they know, so I don't have to say it. I have to appear humble. You are what you are. And to be the GOAT, as Mireille said, that is a lot of time and energy and, the injuries, the workouts, everything that she put into that over a really illustrious career. It almost demands that she own it. And I think that it also, in saying that you're excellent, you're honoring all the people who invested in you as well, right? Parents who invested in her, and now her own family and her fans along the way. And so I just think that that's really powerful, that when we allow ourselves to shine fully and authentically, we not only honor our journey, but everyone that contributed to it.
So I want to just ask Roz and Mireille to comment on something that you said, because I think it's really important. She says that, I'm excellent. I don't know many women, and I certainly don't know many women that look like us that will say, I'm excellent. Talk a little bit about that. So, Roz, let's start with you, because we have a tendency to believe that other people are the one that get to determine if we're excellent or not. We should not say it. So, Roz, talk to us about just the fact that she's so willing to say those words.
Because she was willing to say those words, she has impacted and influenced me. So now that I'm not afraid to say that I'm good at what I do. You understand what I'm saying? I know I'm a good caregiver. I know I'm a good speaker. I know. And it's because she opened her mouth when before, as women, and particularly Black women, we had to take a second seat to a lot of things and not say nothing. Do the work, don't get any credit. And a lot of times, if we bragged about it, we were called the B word. She thinks she all that in a biscuit and the other B word. But you understand what I'm saying? So her speaking out impact and influenced other people, not only to focus on the one thing, but if you focus on it and you're good on it, I can talk about it because as they say, if you don't talk about it, who's gonna talk about it? I'm done.
Yeah, just to build on what Rose was saying, it's really been a problem for, women of color, especially Black women, to really express themselves about what what they're good at, and show that they are confident because we're so used to be having people to speak for us. And it's a cultural thing as well. That's the way we are raised. That's what people expect from us. So it's good to see, someone like Serena to break this. I don't know if it's a bondage or something, to break that and help us to understand that we really need to speak out. We really need to tell people the value that we bring, to tell people that we are good at something, and really believe in ourselves in the process, because otherwise we're left behind. And there's a lot of frustration, and we don't actually, especially as entrepreneur, we don't actually get those markets, we don't actually get to grow our companies, we don't actually get investors to believe in us. So we really need to speak out and understand where we can add value, how we're adding value, and really tell people who we are.
It's pervasive in every part and everywhere. So just recently on LinkedIn, I was involved in a conversation where somebody said, you know, we shouldn't use the term expert, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why not? Why can we not say we're an expert at something if we are? Right? You obviously don't want to misrepresent yourself, right? You need to show up in that excellence. And if you're saying that you're an expert, you need to be able to back that up based on what? Right. And that sort of thing. So it was just very interesting. So I love, Ophelia, that you started with that, right? And to get us going.
Mm-hmm.
So what else comes to mind? So Roz, when you think about Miss Serena Williams, what other lessons do you take from her wonderful career?
Um, that she broke barriers and stereotypes, and that
Mm,
she's an influencer. And I use the word. I know that's probably one of the hot terms now, influencer. But all of us have been influencing, but no one gave us the permission to say that we impacted other people's lives.
Mm.
We were never free to say that. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I'm just going to put Queen Elizabeth in here for a second. She's a brand, she's an influencer, and she impacted people's lives. Look at how many people watched her funeral. I didn't know it, but I was at the TV like this. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's the same type of impact and influence Serena has had, not only on the tennis, but on women and women of color. People, when they would play tennis, we were like this
Hmm.
at the screen. And then when they came up with their own clothing line, I didn't play tennis, but I went out and got me a cute little skirt. I didn't get it as short as theirs, but I went out and got me some little cute outfits. But that's the type of thing that she has done for me in my life.
So awesome, Roz. I didn't really think about it that, and that's why I was really excited about this conversation. So she is an influencer, right? And have you all seen the movie King Richard?
Yes.
The fact that you raise these women to be confident, right? And for them to own and step into their greatness and their power is just amazing to me because it's not something we do. We raise women to be accepted. We don't raise women to be confident. We raise people to try to fit in and that whole thing. And yes, believe in yourself and all of that, but don't make waves and don't, all of that. But she says we were raised to be confident. What a gift that I think he gave those young women. So, what about for you, Mireille? What stands out for you as we do this first round of how we are all impacted by Serena Williams.
The one thing that comes to mind is to be authentic, because obviously physically and how they show up was not the standard, when they came into tennis, and they were actually criticized for that, but they stick to it. They came with their personality, their authenticity, and they impose themselves as who they are, and people accepted them, for now I don't know how many years. So it's important that you know who you are and you accept to be you accept who you are, whatever the challenges that come your way, and really show authentically all the time, and really make your way. Because if you start to back off from your personality, from who you are, to fit into a system or fit into an environment, that's when things start to be very difficult. But they just stick at it. They came with their image, their style, their brand, and who they are, strong girls, strong, very confident, and they stick to it, whatever the challenge that came their way.
I love that. So it reminds me of us being waiting for a seat at the table,
Hmm.
right? They didn't wait for any seat at the table. They took their seat at the table. They're like, no, we're here. And move over because we're here. So we're gonna I want to show a clip that I think speaks to the influence part that Roz is speaking to, and really how they showed up. We've all talked about their authenticity, but let's first say hi to Michael. Hey, Michael, thanks so much for joining us and tuning in. Always great to see you. Michael, I know it's later for you, but what do you have in your cup? And then mom is joining. Hey, mom. She's here this morning with large hot cup of orange and spiced tea with a twist of lemon. Mom always has yummy stuff in her cup. I just want mom's cup. You want the necklaces? I want mom's cup every week. Just send it to me, mom. So let's take a look at this clip. And I love this clip because, okay, fair warning for those watching on the replay, I'll put the link to the clip in the comments because YouTube will cut it out because of copyright, but we can watch it live. So that part's okay. So I'm going to show us this clip, and it's just a clip going through her fashions, right, over the years, which I just adore. I just think it's just the most amazing thing. Talk about confidence. So let's watch a little bit of this clip. We won't watch the whole thing, but we'll watch just a little piece of it. All right. I just wanted to give us a sense of some of those fashions. I am telling you, that woman confidence just emanates from her clothing and everything else. What do you all think about just people who have always said that she should, right? They should. They should show up this way. They should play more tennis. They should. I just always remember hearing the commentators often talked about what they think the girls are not doing, and they need to play more tennis and be like the other girls and all of this. And they just weren't. Is that a way of keeping us in the box, Ophelia?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, right? It's a way of controlling, the time and talent that I talked about that we really own and are stewards of. Um, Nike is doing a documentary on Serena, and it's the title is "By Changing Nothing, She Changed Everything." And it's such a powerful title when you think about someone, Serena Jamaica Williams, who showed up along with her sister in their beads, in their braids, her not having what someone would call a kind of that she didn't have that, svelte, slim body, but really what we would call thick, right? Muscular, really owning that, right? You saw in those fashions, not just the fashion, but how she expressed herself. You saw outfits that looked like a superhero. You saw ultra feminine, that really she owned the range of her power, which is a feminine power, which is sex appeal, which is seriousness. She gave us all of that in her skin. And, that's incredibly powerful. People want to harness that, right? It is an energy that, some seek to control and tell you how to show up, when you can be angry, when you can be happy, and just kind of really quickly referencing, September 2018. I'm sure you all remember that U.S. Open. It was really inspiring for me and really inspired my doctoral research topic, when the umpire accused her of cheating.
Yeah.
And Serena's response to that, but the thing that was so powerful for me was when she said, "You owe me an apology." Who, how many of us say that? So, coupled with "I'm excellent," right?
Right.
You owe me an apology, right? You owe that to me. And she called the umpire a thief. And I thought about, people who try to steal your joy, right? A thief of joy, people who try to take away, dampen your reputation, things that can really be challenging for us in terms of how we move in our careers. There are people along the way that try to exercise that power in our lives. And like the umpire did, sometimes they can, right? She got that penalty. But the reality of it is that she gave us something really powerful in saying, "You owe me an apology. I didn't deserve that. That's not who I am." And like I said, it went on to inspire me to look into Black women at work in my field, in nursing, and talk about racism-related stress and the ways in which we're carrying that all the time. And the obligation of our organizations to acknowledge that and remediate that. We're owed that. And I just loved that Serena gave us that language and that permission.
Wow, that's really, really powerful. There is, God, you would think at this point we would need permission, but we do. We need role models, we need coaches, we need mentors, we need people who can walk before us and show us that it's okay. Because just be quite honest, it's a little scary out there on your own, right? It is scary to just step out there. And I love this. Regina said she's having technical difficulty today, but she loves Serena. And the quote that she said in her movie, "If you don't go for it now, you will forever regret it." And I know, Regina, I remember you've shared this with me a few other occasions that this is one of your favorite quotes, and it's really a powerful one of those lessons that we take from her. So thank you for sharing that with us and how it has inspired you and the ways that we show up. Roz, I think about Serena, and I was going through, okay, what are all the things that really come forward for me? One of the things I want you to speak to is Serena is emotional, right? She gets emotional. She's a competitor and she owns that. She's not shy. She's not, oh, I'm sorry, I was emotional. She's like, I was mad, right? I was upset. I was angry. And she'll tell you, she's like, I'm like the worst loser. When I lose, when she plays Venus and Serena, she says when Venus wins or when Venus loses, she's fine in a few minutes. She's like, when I lose, I need a day or two before I can come forward because I'm just in my emotions. Why is it okay, Roz, for us to show up fully raw, emotional, and authentic when something is not going well for us?
I think there's always times and places for emotions.
Yep.
I'm just speaking from where I am in caregiving. There are times when I want to show my emotions so bad when it comes with these families, like I could snatch your edges because this is not supposed to happen. But I just sit and look like this. Ross, you got something to say? Because if I say it, I won't have a job. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Other times, yes, you do need to show emotions because it's needed. It's required. It's a required emotion to help someone change or to better their life. And I think with her showing her emotions, it says that, hey, I can do this publicly and it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to go back to her clothes for a second. Her clothes showed her emotions.
Yeah.
This is the way I feel. When I put this on, this is the way I feel. It makes me feel better. It makes me a better tennis player. And I remember when they came out with the colors and they tried to ban them because, the day of old, it was all white.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big stinky poo-poo about that. So she said, okay. So she trimmed it in white. There's your white. I thought that was the cutest thing ever. I said, oh, she got you. She gonna wear that color. Or just there was just buttons down the front that was white.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit of white somewhere, or the top half was white and the rest of it was purple or green or whatever color it was. But I said she obeyed the rules, but they didn't say she had to take away the color. They said they had to be white in it. But she still dressed according to the way that she felt. She was showing her emotions. So I'm done speaking.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. Those outfits, it's an emotional statement. And when she wore that full body, I was like, girl, wow,
And
that's awesome.
I think Essence Magazine or somebody took a picture of her in it, and it showed that nice onion behind that she got. It sold buku copies. But you know what I'm saying? They capitalized on it. People.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So I do think that yeah, she had many ways of displaying her emotions, right? And coming forward. And I also think that you're right, Roz, that there is a time and place for emotion. And it's one of the things that when I'm working with leaders, I speak on in terms of emotional intelligence, right? Emotional intelligence is not the absence of emotion. It's the ability to display those emotions so that they further the goal, so that they get you what you want. If you have a team that you're working with and you're upset, you can say that. I'm really frustrated about this. Now, you may not want to go throwing things and being all crazy about it, but you should be able to own how you feel. And so that's one of the challenges I think we have. Mireille, you're smiling. What are you smiling about?
No, I'm smiling about the outfit that she wore in Paris, and they actually banned her for that. They say she's not allowed to wear that. But that's just like, Rose was saying, the confidence to really put yourself out there with your body, a body that, people think, oh, it's not perfect for this game. But she said, no, I'm going to show it. I'm going to show who I am, and, and be okay with that. And that's really why I'm smiling, because one of the key things that I learned from her is that, accept yourself first. You have to accept yourself first before people can actually accept you. And that's what she did. She accepted herself. She accepted her flaws, and made them actually beautiful. Because for a lot of us, having a big boobie, like, we kind of shy about it and we hide it. But she said, no, that's part of who I am. I'm beautiful. I'm going to show it. And that's really why, I'm smiling, because
Yeah.
it is a different mindset, basically.
It is. I'm still hiding. I'm not even going to lie. Not even gonna lie, I'm still hiding. So, but I love that we can look to role models like her. It's, but you know what? There is always going to be critics, right? You're always going to have critics, and so
Exactly.
we have to do the inside work that's required for us to authentically show up. I think this is an important thing for us to talk about, because we talk about showing up authentically. And Ophelia, I want to get your opinion on this, because I think it's such a problem today. We talk about, I'm not able to show up authentically. Should that even be a thing? What do you mean you're not able to show up? Or are we saying it's uncomfortable to show up authentically, right? Is it really that someone is stopping you, or that you feel that you are going to get pushback if you show up authentically as yourself? And then should we just take that seat at the table anyway? Because we're then allowing people to force us into these things, and then we're frustrated by it, and we're angry and upset because this isn't right, but then we are doing it. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but I just thought about it. I hadn't really thought about it in those terms before.
Yeah. I think that's the right way to look at it, right? It's not only, it's understanding what all of these oppressive isms and phobias, what the insidiousness of them, right? And the insidiousness of them is that they become internalized, right? Internalized into our communities, in terms of how we see each other and how we judge each other, and internalized in terms of how we see ourselves and judge ourselves. And so, it's been said, the oppressor doesn't have to do this anymore, because, we're taking care of it for, that person, because we've internalized it, right? And so I think it is double-edged in that way. The reality of it is that there are environments, and we're talking about the workplace, the courts for Serena, which was her workplace. There are environments where who we are is not welcome. And we get those messages every day. And it's not all in our heads, right? It is not all in our heads. That is a very real thing. People call it microaggressions. There's a lot of terms for that, unconscious bias. I just call it racism, sexism, homophobia. I call it what it is. But the reality of it is, I certainly experience it, and have experienced it. It's there. And then, to your point, because it is it's enculturated, right? It's so deep seated, right? In how we're socialized, that yes, we carry some of that with us. So sometimes we're hampering ourselves before, to your point, before we even walk in the door, we've already created a story, because that story is rooted in how we're socialized. Showing up authentically is simple and complex. And I think that what's really important is that for those of us who are at a different part in our journey, where we are confident to show up authentically, kudos. And for those of us who are not yet there, grace. Because it's not easy, right? And again, we can't judge each other in a world that has all these messages overtly and covertly that say that you're not enough, you don't measure up, this is the standard, this is the default. When you have all of that going on, it's really hard to combat psychologically, right? And then when you have your own survival at stake, or you feel that it's at stake, so many of us are trying to compete, right? Forge ahead, first generation, perhaps college graduates or professionals or whatever. So there's a lot that might be weighing on us and a lot at risk. And so I give grace to those who feel like they can't. And to your point, like Serena, those of us who have the positionality, because some of that is true, right? That in our jobs, you have the positionality to show up more authentic, where someone else may not. But those of us who do should. That's how we should use our positionality. That's how we should use our power to make room, to make way, and to be that example. So again, power to those who can do it, and grace and understanding and empathy for those who are earlier in the journey.
I really, really love that approach because it also speaks to us being aware that there are different levels to this. There are different, we're at different places in this. There are things that I do today that I probably would not have done 10 years ago, right? When I was at the CEO level of hospitals, I thought I had to look a certain way and be a certain way. And I was playing that part, right? I was doing that part. And it wasn't until I began to really reawaken. I did a presentation yesterday on my own cultural awakening and really reconnecting with the love of who I am as a person and being able to show up in that space that I didn't always feel comfortable doing that for many, many reasons, right? Well, when you constantly, to your point, look around and there are not people that look like you. And that was at so many facets of my life, right? From when I moved out to the suburbs to getting into the executive ranks and the healthcare, you look around the room often and there are not people that look like you, right? And so all of that played a factor. So I do love the awareness to give grace to those that are not there and to continue to do what Venus did for Serena, right? Open the door so they can follow you through as they're ready. So I want to play something that was really cool. It's just a short quote. It's not a quote, but it's a part of, I think, a speech that she gave. And then I'm going to get you all to react a little bit to, what she's saying in this clip.
One of you that it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, your age. I have to tell each and every one of you that it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, your age, you can achieve anything that you set your mind to. And I always say, if I can do it, anyone can do it. And the reason that I always say that, because I didn't grow up with things being handed to me. I had to work hard, I had to dedicate myself, and I had to be determined, and I was. Even outside of sport, it could be education, it could be business, it could be anything. It requires discipline and hard work and determination. And most importantly, it requires self-belief, because like me, some people might not believe in you, but you have to believe in you. And sometimes you're going to be your own cheerleader, and you have to be your biggest and your best cheerleader, and never stop believing in yourself, and really always support who you are. The ride for me was not and has not been easy. I'm not standing here because I just kind of cruised on, but I've had my shares of ups and downs. I've had many struggles. I've had blood clots in both my lungs at the same time, and I lived through tragedies and controversies, and I've had people look.
Wow. So let me just get you all to react to that. I thought that clip was so powerful. There was so much in it. So, Mireille, let's start with you and your reactions to that inspirational clip.
So there was no sound, but I could read some of the statement. Yes, she's just reiterating the fact that it was not easy. It seems easy that way, but when we see her, she's talking about self-belief, which is key, the determination and the hard work that she had to put in to be able to become, the best version of herself, and really go, against sometime the wave, and be her own cheerleader, and which is what we face, especially as we as we go up, in corporations, or personally, I've lived that, where you are a person of color, woman of color, and then as you go up, there's actually less and less people. Sometimes you start with people who don't really look like you, and always challenge your existence in a way, and you just have to keep going and keep, being strong, and believing in yourself, and believing that you're gonna make it where you want to be, irrespective of the support, of the lack of support that you have around you. So that's really where, the key thing for me is that whatever the obstacle, whatever the challenge, if you believe in yourself and you work hard for it, and you stay focused on your dream, on your goal, then things happen.
Mhm. I love that. Yeah, I'm sorry about the sound. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. I'm just gonna move on. My apologies, everyone, for that. So, Roz, what about you and your reactions to the video?
Everything that she has gone through and went through, she could have easily said victim. She could have pulled the black card. I'm black. This happened to me because I'm black. This happened to me because I'm a woman. This is happening to me because I don't fit in. But her struggles turned into her strategy. Her struggles turned into her strategy. And her
Mm.
strategy was, I'm going to keep going, but I don't have to talk about it. I'm going to do show and tell. Like we used to do when we were little. I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. And so that's what I picked up, is that, as I looked at her, I was looking at myself, I'm like, my God, I've gone through stuff and hadn't said a peep or a pip to anybody. I haven't said anything. But I used those struggles as my strategy. Um, Failure leaves data. And what are we doing with that information? We could wallow in it, or we could use it to be successful. And that was her success playbook, that she didn't use those struggles and use it as a victim, she you know or to use it as that, take that black card of victimization and saying, I'm a victim, why does this keep happening to me? No. No.
Mhm.
And that's what I got out of that. Thank you.
Mhm. Thank you, Roz. And Ophelia, what about you? What did you take from that?
Yeah, some similar themes. I will say what I took from it, and it's thinking about what Ross said. You're right. She didn't settle into victimhood, but she did call it out. And
Mhm.
I think that that's important. I think it's important to call it out. I think it's important. Some people say, well, as long as I recognize it, I kind of do my thing under the radar. But, and again, there's a lot of ways, a lot of avenues of approaches. But I'm about the call out. And it's important to call it out. And she said in that video, people look past me because of my color. So she is acknowledging that racism is real. We need to have people who will call it out because it's validating.
Mhm.
Again, as I said earlier, you're not crazy. Things that are happening in the workplace or in your lives, those are real things. And when we call it out, um, it validates. Hopefully it calls for some introspection for those who might be perpetrators of those things. But what it also does show is that, yes, and it is surmountable. And that's what she showed us when she said being your own best cheerleader. I love the idea of that intrinsic motivation when the world is saying no, that you're telling yourself yes. And it doesn't mean that you're not scared. It doesn't mean that she has a quote that says, I'm not fearless. And we don't ever want to portray that. We don't ever want to portray that we are stoic, that we don't have emotion, because that is one of the things that harms us. It's one of the reasons that she had that near death experience when she was in the hospital to give birth to her daughter, Olympia, right? And we see that. I thank her for being an advocate for Black maternal mortality prevention, where we say believe Black women. And we're often not believed in healthcare settings because we're looked at as stoic, as too emotional, as the other end of that spectrum, right? And by her calling out all those things, by her advocating, by her saying, no, there's something wrong with me, her life is saved. And one of her outfits, I think that we've talked about, those cat suits, was a compression suit for her health and her circulation, because of her clinical history. And so, all of that, giving us that permission, telling her clinical story, all of those things, I think, is something for us to take with us. It is okay to call it out, but we also, to your point, Roz, cannot wallow there and stay there. We push through.
Yeah, really good. Well, let's really quickly do our top two. And I was talking with my friends last night. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's been so busy. I haven't had time to come up with this. So a top two. So the top two today is going to be the top two that was given to me by my friends. So our top two question of the day, and so I'll give it to you now so you can begin thinking about it. And then after our little intro, we'll come back and get your top two. So for today's top two, it is share with us your top two favorite late night snacks. Late night snacking. And don't be saying no peanuts or no bananas. No, we want the real stuff. Your favorite late night snacks. And we'll share when we come back after this. All right. So your top two. All right. Where do we want to start? All right. Ophelia, let's start with you this time. So share with us your top two. See, we're going to get to know each other really well on this show. What are your top two favorite late night snacks?
All right. Late night snacks. I would say Swedish fish. I love all fruity, chewy things. So if they're in the house, that, or one of my kids' granola bars. And the granola bars they're pretty much like candy bars these days. So I might as well eat a Snicker if I eat a granola bar. So that's, it's chocolate coated with like peanut butter. So yeah. So it's my kids' junk food in their little junk closet. That's what I go for.
All right. Oh, I am such a Swedish fish girl too. Anything chewy and I can leave chocolate all day long. You give me something chewy. I am all good. Roz, what is that face about? All right, Miss Roz. Roz is like, What's your top two, Roz?
I like popcorn with a whole lot of butter on it. I like to take and melt a stick of butter and just pour it all over the popcorn till it's greasy and dripping down my arm.
Oh.
with a big bottle of ginger ale. Yes.
Ginger ale. I have not drank ginger ale in a really long time.
And now I'm gonna go get some because we're talking about it. And some popcorn.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Mireille. Your favorite late night snacks?
Yeah, I hope my husband is not listening because it's always like, oh, you're snacking at night. No, I'm not snacking at night, not at all. So I like Nutella with crackers. So
Mm.
that's one of my favorite, and also I also like the popcorn when I can. So, but the
Mm.
Nutella with the crackers is really, that's my favorite. Late night snacks.
All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. I think my favorite late night snacks are, if I'm not doing food at night because I'm just up late and hungry, I am doing mozzarella sticks or pretzel bites. I love pretzel bites. You know, I'm a Philly girl, and so like a good soft pretzel and some mustard. Oh, this girl's in heaven. That's what I'm talking about. So we have Joel out there who shared his top two. Hey, Joel, popcorn and cookies. All right, Joel, what kind of cookies? Because any kind of cookie won't do, right? So again, I don't need the chocolate, but if you give me a good soft oatmeal raisin cookie, all right, now we can talk. Oatmeal raisin. Roz, is that your cookie too?
Yes, I love oatmeal raisin. Oh my God.
The best cookie ever. Love it. I don't know. Something about oatmeal raisin
Keep
cookies. So
you regulated too. Keeps you regulated. Mhm.
all right. So Joel said, yep, chewy chocolate chip for him. Okay. Well, I love you anyway, Joel. So you can have your chocolate chip. But if you ever bring me cookies, it's gonna be oatmeal raisin. So that's just a thing for me. All right. So we're going to get ready to wrap up. I can't believe it's been an hour almost already. And as we get ready to do this, so let's first do our coffee shot because you all know I will just totally forget this. Oh, hey, I got a good shot of it. Perfect. Got it. Thank you. Fantastic. Okay. And all right, so Joel is still talking about his late night snacks. He says, I enjoy both popcorn and cookies with milk. All right. Oh, cookies with milk. Yes. Yes. I was thinking something a little stronger than milk, but
Ice
okay.
cream.
And ice cream, right? I mean, come on, Roz. I was thinking about something a little bit stronger than the milk, but I'm with you, Joel. Cookies and milk is all good.
Oh
So,
yeah. If not, now if you would put a little vodka in that milk and call it, it's called a white Russian. We could do that.
vodka and milk. We're going down the rabbit hole, Joel. Thank you for that because we need a rabbit hole moment in every show.
Mhm.
All right, so we're going to get ready to wrap up and we'll come back. And what we want to do is we want to talk about, what do you hope people walk away from this conversation with? What did we put in your cup that you're thinking about during this discussion? I feel like we could have had two whole shows on Serena. There was so much to cover with her, but I think what was important is that we just all had an opportunity to share some things that really resonates with us about Serena's storied, amazing career that she went through. So let's, when we come back on the other side, we will get what we put in your cup today. And then we will begin to wrap up. So right after this. All right. So let's go around and talk about what we put in your cup, what you hope people take away from this conversation. So, Roz, let's start with you. What's in your cup?
I guess from today, from um, what we've talked about, I've learned about grace, giving myself grace. I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah,
Mhm.
give myself grace.
Thank you, Roz. Yeah, and remembering, and Ophelia, that was just such a powerful point that you shared with us, and remembering to extend that grace to others who may not be there yet. Right? We never know where people are. So, yes, that was very good. Mireille, what do we have in your cup today?
So my main, what I have in my cup is to use our voice, because I think that's really what Serena did, irrespective of what She's gone through. She always use her voice to express herself and to tell people who she is, in case they forget. So I think that's the strong message for me.
I love that. So, as they say, if you don't know, you better ask somebody because she will definitely tell you who she is. So I love that. And hey, Favor, thank you for joining us. Yes, extending grace to others is important. Absolutely. Thank you. And if you're still out there watching, don't forget to share the video. And so as we get to you, Ophelia, we want you to share with us your takeaways and then tell people where they can connect with you also.
Sure. Again, thank you for this discussion and the chance to just commune with all of you. My takeaway is really just owning yourself and everything that you have to offer, owning your power, owning your emotions, owning your story. Serena she is power walking, right? She is power walking, and every aspect of who she is, she lives courageously. And I think about the last Open where a commentator asked her at the end, or somewhere in one of her games, if she was surprising herself at her level. Like, are you surprising yourself at the level of which you're playing? And she just laughed. Like, are you serious? I'm Serena, right? And I think in the commentator immediately recognized that, oops, I made a mistake. I'm talking to the GOAT, right? And so it's just always walking in that power, walking in that truth, knowing that we won't always be right, we won't always get it right, but also owning our mistakes. It's owning every single part of who we are. I think that's what authenticity demands of us. And she's just an example that we all can look to.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And where can people connect with you?
I'm on LinkedIn. So that's really a great way to connect with me. And I am on there enough that I will certainly respond.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. We have, let's see. So this is what I'm putting in my cup: to talk less, listen more, step into my greatness, and to remember the quotes of Serena Williams that she stated in her movie. If you don't go for it right now, you could possibly regret it forever. This was an amazing show, and I will be watching it again. I'm pretty sure that's Regina. So thank you so much for that. I think that as I was preparing for the show and really going through some things about Serena, and one of the things that really stood out for me is my last drop for today. And my last drop for today is: belief is an action word. When you truly believe, you begin to move in magical ways to make it happen, right? When you believe, then you are willing to step up, to lean in, to do the things that it takes to really help you reach whatever goals and dreams you have. As she said, doesn't matter if it's on the tennis court, any other sport, in business, in life. What are your goals? What are your dreams? Do you really believe? Do you really have that self-belief? Because if you do, then you're moving a little bit differently, right? You're behaving and you're showing up a little bit differently when you truly believe. So I think that is one of my big takeaways for the show. Let's quickly look at this coffee mix really quickly because I love this one. Right? It was in the intro, but I feel like I had to put it up again because I get so much done because I am a morning person. Put your head under the coffee pot. So that is very cool. For everyone out there, we are so, so honored and grateful for any time you give us a little bit of your Saturday. That really is why we show up. So we hope that you have enjoyed our show and our discussion for today. For everyone else out there, we will see you all next week for my panel. We'll see you in a debrief in just a few minutes. And everyone have an amazing, amazing rest of your weekend. I'm headed to the spa after this. I could use a little spa time. So very excited about that and spending time with my friends. So thank you all once again. And we will see you back here next week. Same time, same station. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.